Hello everyone, this is potpotsie here, and today I'm bringing you a Minecraft Pocket Edition video on the 0.10.0 update, which I'm sure many of you have heard about, and if you're watching the video, obviously from the title alone, you've heard about this update. So, it's just coming out today with the beta testing, so to be more clear, this version is running on my tablet, and you can see on the top of the screen, it says version 0.10.0 alpha build 1. So this is the alpha testing or beta testing of Minecraft Pocket Edition on the 0.10.0 update. And you can see I have the Asus Nexus 7, otherwise known as the Google Nexus 7. It is an Android tablet, and that is what I'm using today. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into this. I'm going to go ahead and create a world. We're just going to call it something like 0.10.0 because that's just so unique, you know? I just thought we have to have something unique, you know? So there's quite a few things we got to talk about. So there's the features, tweaks, and bug fixes. That's the order I'm going to go in things because features are the most important. Those are the things you guys really care about. Then there's tweaks, which are also everything's important, but I just thought, features are the exciting part. Tweaks are exciting, but slightly less so. And bug fixes are also very exciting if it's something you've been waiting for. But so we're going to go ahead and go from the top. Now, also, to keep the video relatively short, because it takes me probably 20 minutes to talk about all this stuff and actually describe it all. So what we'll do is I'll go through the list, I'll explain a little bit of it and try to make it so you guys understand some of it. And then if there's anything specific, you guys go ahead and put it in the comments and I'll compile a video explaining the different requests you guys have. So first thing is the features. They added upgraded rendering system to use OpenGL 2.0 from 1.1, and also you can use OpenGL 3.0 if your device is compatible. It would have to be a slightly newer device, and most of you, and this isn't something that you have any control over. You don't have to choose, you don't have to make any setting changes. If it uses 2.0, it'll use 2.0. If it knows it can use 3.0, it will use the 3.0. Either way, it has a huge, significant difference, and it's way more optimal and everything than the 1.1 version. And also, if you're wondering what OpenGL even means, OpenGL is the engine that takes care of rendering 3D graphics. So if you're looking at the 3D world here, using a newer version is going to be much more efficient, much more powerful, and it optimizes immensely, which is why one of the other features they added here was some performance increase on most devices. So you're more than likely going to see a performance increase, which 0.9.0 already brought serious performance increases. It's weird because most people thought, as updates went on, the game would become increasingly laggy on older devices, when really it actually becomes faster. And of course, it's even faster on new devices. But the point is, you haven't really missed out on much if you're on an older device. Everything's kept up quite well because the developers have done an amazing job at optimizing and engineering the game to work very smoothly. The next part is one of the ones you've probably heard most about. They ported the tinted lighting from the PC edition. So when it comes to placing torches and creating light, it works much differently than it used to. It used to be blocky and weird, and the lighting was kind of not so good looking. And they've changed it completely to be more tinted. So this is darkish over here, so I might be able to kind of show you. So I'll place this torch. It's still pretty light over here. It's like you gotta find okay, this might be good enough. Alright, so see how dark it is? We place a torch, and look at that. The lighting is beautiful. It's super smooth. It's tinted out towards the edge of the torch, and so the whole thing looks great. It looks way, way better. Huge increase over the 0.9.0 version and anything prior. So the next one would be ported the round fog from the PC version. So if I fly up here, you can actually see the fog, and as you move towards the fog, the world actually generates within the fog, so it looks much more natural than a bunch of squares just randomly appearing. So you can see them a little bit, the outlines of the squares as we move, but for the most part, it looks like very natural generation of the world, which looks way better, and it makes the game feel really polished and everything. The next one is the Mesa biome. The Mesa biome now have gold at every height and can spawn mine shafts on the actual surface. So I will be looking around for those, and I will probably make a video. If I can find one with a mineshaft on the actual surface, I'm going to make a video about it immediately. I'll be investigating once this video is over, and I'll look around and see if I can find anything for you guys. Whoa, this is cool. We picked a cool world. It was just random. Wow, dude. Okay, we got to keep focused, though, because otherwise this video is going to go forever, because there's a long list of things here, but they're great things that you need to know. So the next one is they added dust particles falling from unstable dirt and sand. So I can't very easily show you unless it happens to show us here. You see it? Don't move. Look. See that? See that? Watch. All right, right there, the bottom left. I don't have a crosshair, so I can't show you. See those dust particles? Those are falling to basically show you that it's unstable. So if I was to break one of those blocks, watch what happens. The whole thing falls. So that's kind of like having lava drip through or water. It's kind of just a warning, sort of natural, because in real life, if you had an unstable gravel patch, you'd see pebbles and stuff falling off and dust. So I really like that. I think it's really cool. They added a tweakable brightness inside of the settings to adjust the darkness, also known as gamma. I'm sure many of you have referred to it as that. Just be careful with this setting. Let me show you guys an example. If I'm looking at this darkness right here, and I change the setting, you will see immediately it becomes a very light, very light. This was pretty much pitch dark right here. So the problem is, this does not change the actual lighting of the game. It just changes it for your view. So that means that if you're in a pitch dark area and you change the gamma so it's light, mobs will still spawn there. So that's the issue with lighting. You don't want to make it too bright, because then it's going to confuse you and you're not going to know where mobs are going to be spawning, because right here mobs could easily spawn all over the place, but you're not going to know that if you have your gamma maxed out. So just be careful with that setting. The next one, and the last major feature as far as the build one is concerned, is iOS added a 64-bit build for compatible iOS devices, which you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that the iPhone 5S is the device that introduced the 64-bit architecture to iOS devices. Anything above there should have it. That's inclusive of iOS 6, iOS 6, sorry, 6th generation devices, iPhone 6, for example, iPhone 6 Plus. Those ones will have the 64-bit architecture. So now we're going to move on to the tweaks section, which has some very good tweaks, and I'll run through those a little bit faster, and I'll try to describe and explain a little bit less so that we can get through things. New double-sided lighting on entities and clouds that's more coherent with the terrain. Enabled mipmaps on Android devices supporting OpenGL 3.0. So that, again, that won't really affect you. You won't have something to change. There's no settings there. That's just going to detect your own device and it'll take care of itself. New water shading. So we'll go fly down here and take a look at the water for a second. We don't want to take too long, but we'll fly down here and see. So you can see right here, you can see that there's a circle of moving shading and lighting on the surface of the water itself. And there's a few more things about the tweaks with water, so we'll talk about those in a second. Faster rebuilding of chunks, which is natural when you consider the fact that OpenGL has been updated to newer versions. They added smooth lighting on water and smooth color transitions. So that's what we were talking about. I just got to talk about the water a little bit more. That's a little bit more idea about that. There's even one more thing about the water down the list a little bit. We'll get there in a second. The next one would be huge mushrooms now spawn in swamps, which I think most of you would agree that is a very natural and normal thing to have occur, because mushrooms you would typically imagine inside of a swamp, and now they have the massive, huge mushrooms spawning in them. Ignoring swipes from outside the screen, so exiting full screen / activating command center doesn't turn the view. So I never really had issues with this before, but I understand that some people have problems with this, so hopefully those are eliminated entirely. So next one is the selection overlay on Vine's tall grass now has the correct shape. So I don't know if you know what that's referring to. Let me fly over here, right here. So if I was to use my finger and hold it over these, you can see that it lights up the grass, right? The tall grass. Before, the overlay was triangular and weird, geometrically disgusting, and it was really tall sometimes, and it just made the game look glitchy and weird. So now it looks nice. They also added a selection overlay on chests and signs, which looks beautiful, and I'm sure most of you will know what I'm talking about when you look at those things. I'm not going to go through it because, like I said, it'll take 20 minutes if I go through everything here and show you all, so I'm just going to explain it all. Next thing would be the error message when a world cannot be opened are now more informative about what happened. So rather than just saying your world cannot be opened or your world is corrupted, it will actually give you some feedback and output about what's going on, which can really be helpful, especially for the developers, for you to report your issues and they can correct the bugs and fixes. And it also enabled day and night cycle and creative. As you can see, it's happening right now, actually. Great timing, Moon. So it's turning night time and I'm in creative mode. This can be very positive. Most of the community seem to be highly in favor of this, but it can be problematic for the map creators because they need to be able to build for extended amounts of time, and it needs to be light for them to see. So hopefully someone comes out with a mod quickly that would resolve this, and it would be great. So now the bug fixes are a little bit short of a list. Fixed a bug when rendering mob spawners, or fixed the crash. So that should be fixed. You should be able to place those without a problem. iOS fixed freezing when receiving a notification showing the command center, which I am so grateful for because I'm serious. That happened to me so many times. Yesterday in my Let's Play episode, actually, I had a notification from an email and it crashed. Like, it froze the whole screen. I had to exit out, do all this crazy stuff. iOS fixed the crash and memory leak with the keyboard and chat. So that should be nice. It should be less laggy when using the keyboard. Fix the spawning in the air bug. I'm sure many of you experience where you spawn in the air when you're trying to play Minecraft Pocket Edition, and that was very annoying because if you're doing survival, you could fall off and die. So that's good that that's gone. They fixed a white artifact on the torch when held in hand. Of course, it looks nice now, so I can't really show you what it would look like otherwise because it's already polished. Fixed holes appearing in the clouds. Fixed a brown artifact appearing on the bottom of minecarts. Fixed a random crash in multiplayer. Fixed a possible crash when selecting double chests, and the time of day is now more accurately synced in multiplayer. So that's great because that was really weird if you're playing with your friends and it's daytime for one of you and not so daytime for the other. So there you go. Those are the bug fixes as well. Very polished. This game has gone really far, and this update may not add the biggest features, but in your mind at least, but it does polish the game up and it makes it much smoother for all of you. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was informative for you as well. If you want to join the beta group, 2 requirements. You need to be on an Android device, and you also need to have a Google account. So that would be like a Gmail of some sort. If you have an Android device, I'm assuming you have one because you have to have one to use the Google Play. Now, if you have one, you can click the link in the description that says join the beta testing, and you'll be able to go join the Google group and download the update and check it out yourself. So definitely do that if you guys have an Android device. And what's the other thing also? iOS testers. There is no iOS testing because they would have to handpick everyone to do that, which would take an extensive amount of time, which they can't really do. So just be aware of that. You gotta have an Android device. There's no exceptions in this case, so I wouldn't spend too much time trying to figure out a way because there really isn't one. And that's it, guys. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, I'll be uploading another video about the Mesa biomes, hopefully finding a mineshaft on the surface of the world. I'll be uploading some other things, so if you're subscribed, you will definitely see them. If you're not, you should really consider hitting subscribe. I'd love it if you did, and I will see you guys in a couple of hours.